No grades at stake, gentlemen. Just take a stroll. There it is. Is cold. Left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, left. Halt! Thank you, gentlemen. If you notice, everyone started off with their own stride, their own pace. Mr. Pitts, taking his time. He knew he'll get there one day. Mr. Cameron, you could see him thinking, is this right? It might be right, it might be right. I know that. Maybe not, I don't know. Mr. Overstreet, driven by a deeper force. Yes. We know that. All right. Now, I didn't bring them up here to ridicule them. I brought them up here to illustrate the point of conformity, the difficulty in maintaining your own beliefs in the face of others. Now, those of you, I see the look in your eyes like, I would have walked differently. Well, ask yourselves why you are clapping. Now, we all have a great need for acceptance. But you must trust that your beliefs are unique, your own, even though others may think them odd or unpopular, even though the herd may go, that's bad. Robert Frost said, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. And I want you to find your own walk right now, your own way of striding, pacing, any direction, anything you want, whether it's proud, whether it's silly, anything. Gentlemen, the courtyard is yours. You don't have to perform. Just make it for yourself. Mr. Dalton, you'll be joining us.
Exercising the right not to walk.
Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Just illustrated the point.
Så, hur vet du om du är under mind control eller hjärntvättad? Ja, det gör du inte. Om du är hjärntvättad. Eller under mind control. Så hur kan man undersöka om man eventuellt är det? Ja, det kanske inte är så lätt. Men man måste nog ha lite av en grundinställning till att vara skeptisk för det första. Som till exempel, tvekar du inför information eftersom du är rädd för att det kan vara sant och därför undviker att ens ge dig in på ämnet? En sån sak. Eller värderar du din grupp före fakta? Om du har en idol, du ser upp till någon, det kan vara en sportstjärna, en musiker, en skådis, vem som helst, din farbror eller vad som helst, din mormor och så vidare. Köper du vad som helst vad den idolen säger? En annan sak kan vara, kan du ta till dig en idé även om den idén kommer från någon eller något vars övriga idéer du avskyr eller inte håller med om? Kan du ändå skilja på det? En annan grej kan vara, faller du lätt för mode och trender? Sånt kan man ju, om man är lite uppmärksam, titta på sig själv. Går jag omkring i samma skor som alla andra gör just den här månaden? Eller har jag årets vinterjacka som alla andra har? Har du svårt för att gå emot konsensus? Hur ofta stämmer din magkänsla? En grej kan vara att försöka memorera eller vara uppmärksam på när magkänslan stämde. Alltså du kanske känner att vad ska vi ta för exempel? Låt oss säga att du ska cykla ner för en brant backe på en cykel vars hjul är lite löst så att det kan lossna. Det finns en risk för det. Din magkänsla säger dig, nej, ingen bra idé. Du kanske gör det ändå. Du kraschar. Okej, din magkänsla stämde då. Sånt kan man försöka liksom vara uppmärksam på. Eller för att återgå till den här idolgrejen då. Låt oss säga att du är ett Kanye West-fan. Bytte du åsikt när han gjorde det? Det vill säga när han började tycka att Trump var en bra kille och med alla hans åsikter, om du känner till det, annars får du kolla upp det. Eller väljer du hellre gruppens accepterande och trygghet före vad som känns rätt och riktigt, både faktamässigt och känslomässigt? Lite sådana grejer man kan göra. Det är det enda jag kan komma på nu i alla fall, så här på rak arm. Men det viktigaste är nog att känna att våga är en bra grej. Och att du känner att det är viktigt att våga. Att det ger dig något. Att våga är en bra egenskap som man uppskattar. Då är man lite mer vaccinerad mot grupptänk och hjärntvätt. Grupptänk är väl en sån här grej som människan har haft som överlevnadsgrej på den tiden när man sprang runt med klubbor och bodde i grottor och man ville undvika att bli uppäten av tigrar med jättemånga tänder och sådana där saker. Då kunde ett grupptänk vara bra för själva gruppens överlevande. Men jag vet inte, grupptänken i modern tid då, så det är också det som kan vara oerhört destruktivt. Inte enbart för sig själv och sin egen själ, men också att det kan liksom, till exempel leda oss lätt till krig. Som till exempel weapons of mass destruction i Irak, bla bla bla, och så bara upprepa det mantrat, och sen tyckte alla att det var en jättebra idé att gå ut i krig. Klimathotet är också en sån där grej, en sån upprepande sak. Oavsett vad man tror om det där, så är det ju faktiskt tydligt ett grupptänk inblandat i det. Jag gissar att det är väldigt många som hoppar på det tåget av rent grupptryck, eller att man vill tillhöra något större. Man kanske gillar modet, man kanske gillar tygväskor och så vidare. Så i alla fall, jag tänkte köra några korta klipp här från lite olika experiment som har gjorts. Och ni kan se dem i sin helhet i en av mina spellistor. Sen om man vill se mer. Nu blir det mest korta klipp om det då. Och jag tänkte börja med det här. Det fanns en psykolog som heter Stanley Milgram som gjorde ett experiment på 60-talet. Han använde sig av elektricitet. Det gick då ut på att han sa till sina försöksobjekt att själva grejen gick ut på att man skulle lära sig bättre om man disciplinerades, blev bestraffad, för att då blev man liksom tvingad att lära sig bättre och anstränga sig mer. Så då hade han 2 rum. I det ena rummet så var en person som fick på sig ett armband som kunde ta emot elektriska chocker. Och i det andra rummet så var en person som skulle läsa upp frågor för den här personen med elektricitetschocksarmbandet. Och om personen då svarade fel så fick den en mild stöt, elektricitet. Och sen så ökade det där då ju fler fel det blev. Så styrkan gick från 15 volt och ända upp till 450 volt. Och liksom från milt till mer och mer och till slut extremt stark elchock då. Men det var bara det att personen med det här elchocksarmbandet då, som skulle vara den som blev utsatt för elchocken, den var med på själva experimentet och visste om det här och var egentligen bara en skådis och blev aldrig. Den fick aldrig elchocker. Däremot den andra personen som då skulle utföra de här bestraffningarna, det var den människan som var ovetande om det här och blev utsatt för experimentet. Och under då, när de här chockerna utdelas så hör ju personen som utdelar elstötarna hur den andra personen skriker till liksom och och det ökar då ju värre det blir. Och då får man se hur olika människor egentligen är beredda att lyda för att utföra de här bestraffningarna. Och vissa människor vägrar ju efter ett tag när de märker att det går liksom överstyr. Och de hör den andra människan liksom hålla på är farligt liksom. Det låter illa. Medan andra är lite sådär smått sadistiska och garvar liksom och tycker det är lite kul att få dela ut elstötar. Så. I alla fall, börja med det. Vi börjar med den. Och sen så kommer det några fler här klipp. Mycket nöje.
One theory is that people learn things correctly whenever they get punished for making a mistake. A common application of this theory would be when parents spank a child who does something wrong. But actually we know very little about the effect of punishment on learning because almost no truly scientific studies have been made of it in human beings. For instance, we don't know how much punishment is best for learning. And we don't know how much difference it makes as to who's giving the punishment, whether an adult learns best from an older or a younger person himself, and many things of this sort. So what we're doing in this project is bringing together a number of adults of different occupations and ages, and we're asking some of them to be teachers and some to be learners. We want to find out just what effect different people have on each other as teachers and learners, and also what effect punishment will have on learning in this situation. Therefore, I'm going to ask one of you to be the teacher here this afternoon, and the other to be the learner. This machine generates electric shocks, and when you press one of the switches all the way down, the learner gets a shock. If he were to indicate the wrong answer, you would say wrong. Then tell him the number of volts you're going to give him. Then give him the punishment.
65 volts. Time.
Let me out!
That guy's hollering in there.
Continue, please. Go on.
There's a lot of them here, you know. They love a heart condition there. You want me to go?
Just continue, please.
Sharp. Axe, needle, stick, blade. Answer, please. Wrong. I'm up to 180 volts.
Please continue, teacher.
Needle, you're going to get a shock. 180 volts.
Oh! I can't stand the pain. Let me out of
You
here!
can't stand it. I'm not going to kill that man there. You hear him hollering there? He's
As I said before, the shocks may be painful, but they're not dangerous.
They're hollering. He can't stand it. What if something happens to him? I mean, he's under hollering.
It's absolutely essential that you continue, teacher.
There's too many left here. And I mean, geez, he gets wrong here. There's too many of them left. I mean, who's going to take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please.
All right, next one, slow. Wrong. Answer is neck. 300 volts.
Oh! I absolutely refuse to answer anymore. Get me out of here. You can't hold me here. Get me out. Get me out of here.
Continue. The next word is green, please.
Green. Grass, hat, ink, apple. I can't go on. He won't answer.
If the learner doesn't answer in a reasonable time, about 4 or 5 seconds, consider the answer wrong and follow the same procedures you have been doing for wrong answers. Say wrong, tell him the number of volts, give him the punishment, read him the correct answer.
Oh, man.
Continue, please.
Something's happened to that man in there. Nice one, gold, dollar, necklace, moon, paint. Something's happened to that man in there. You better check in on him, sir. He won't answer you nothing.
Please continue. Go on, please.
You accept all the responsibility?
The responsibility is mine. Correct. Please go on.
Grave, woman, soldier, dog, horse. Answer is woman, 450 volts. That's it.
Now continue using the last switch on the board, please. The 450 switch for each wrong answer. Continue, please.
I'm not getting no answer.
Please continue. The next word is white.
But you think you should look in on him, please?
Not once we've started the
But
experiment.
what if something's happened to the man, had an attack or something there?
The experiment requires that we continue. Go on, please.
Don't the man's health mean anything?
Whether the learner likes it or not, we
But
must...
he might be dead in there. I mean, some people can't take the shock, sir.
Please
I mean,
continue.
I don't tend to be rude, but I mean, I think you should look in on him.
Whether
You know, all you got to do is look at the door. If I don't get no answer, no noise, something I think has happened to the gentleman in there, sir. White, 450 volts. Next one is short. Sentence, movie, spurt, time.
All right, excuse me, teacher. We'll have to discontinue the experiment. I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may.
How do you feel, though?
I feel all right, but I don't like what's happened to that fellow in there. He's been hollering, and we had to keep giving him shocks. I didn't like that one bit. I mean, he wanted to get out, and he just kept going, kept throwing 450 volts. I didn't like that. He wouldn't even look at on that gentleman.
Well, who was actually pushing the switch?
I was. But he kept insisting. I told him no, but he said, he's got to keep going. I told him it's time we stopped when we got up to 195, 210 volts.
Well, why didn't you just stop?
He wouldn't let me. I wanted to stop.
Many people, not knowing much about the experiment, claim that subjects who go to the end of the board are sadistic. Nothing could be more foolish as an overall characterization of these persons. The context of their action must always be considered. The individual, upon entering the laboratory, becomes integrated into a situation that carries its own momentum. The results, as I observe them in the laboratory, are disturbing. They raise the possibility that human nature cannot be counted on to insulate men from brutality and inhumane treatment at the direction of malevolent authority. A substantial proportion of people do what they are told to do, irrespective of the content of the act and without limitations of conscience, so long as they perceive that the command comes from a legitimate authority. If in this study an anonymous experimenter could successfully command adults to subdue a 50-year-old man and force on him painful electric shocks against his protests, one can only wonder what government, with its vastly greater authority and prestige, can command of its subjects.
If the answer is incorrect, you will receive an electric shock.
The teacher is then taken next door and shown the generator, which ranges from 15 volts all the way up to a lethal 450 volts. The domestic electricity supply in the UK is, of course, 240 volts. Our teachers are given the list of questions and told to increase the voltage each time the learner gets a question wrong. They are then given an example of a low voltage shock.
And try and estimate in volts the amount of shock you feel you're getting.
Okay. Oh, shit.
Do you know how much that was?
Enough.
75.
It was actually 45.
Oh my god.
Teacher, begin.
Shoe horn.
Steam.
The point of this test is to see whether the teachers, our subjects, will call a stop to the experiment or continue to the point where they are administering seemingly lethal electric shocks to the victim simply because the scientist is telling them to.
That's correct. The next word is bicycle. The options: tyre, race, helmet, shorts. That's incorrect, so there'll be 120 volts. I don't think I want to do this anymore.
If you could continue, please, teacher.
There is? No, I don't think I'm going to do anymore.
The experiment requires you to continue.
Yeah, even so, I don't think I'm going to do anymore.
Correct.
According to plan, our accomplice provided many wrong answers. Each protest was coordinated to a particular shock voltage on the generator, and his responses were played via a CD.
That's wrong, 150 volts. The correct answer is Captain Shoe. Cup. That's wrong. 225 volts.
Take it off! I've had enough of this!
He's in a lot of pain.
Continue, please.
That's wrong, mate.
Need the experiment there.
300
All
volts.
of the subjects were told the true nature of the experiment was to see how they would respond to authority, and that it would eventually form part of this show.
He is okay.
I can tell you, yeah, he's absolutely fine. You actually weren't administering electric shocks to him at all. He is.
In the original Milgram experiment, psychologists were asked to predict how many people would continue to the point that they were administering the highest shock on the board. Their prediction was 0.1%. They were wrong. The results of our experiment were almost identical to the original. Over 50% of participants continued up to 450 volts. The majority of people will administer lethal electric shocks just because a guy in a white coat is telling them to.
450 volts.
450 volts.
450 volts.
450.
But an experiment is not a public opinion poll. It examines behavior under the pressure of social forces, as the experiment of Solomon Asch reveals.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the 3 lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the 5th person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
2.
2.
2.
2.
2.
3.
3.
3. 3.
But on the 3rd trial, something happens.
2.
2.
2. 2. 2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence. Ash found subjects went along with the group on 37% of the critical trials. But he found through interviews that they went along with the group for different reasons.
1.
1. They must be right. There are 4 of them and 1 of me.
1.
This subject's yielding is based on a distortion of his judgment. He genuinely believes that the group is correct.
1.
1. 1. 2. 1. 2.
2.
2.
I know they're wrong, but why should I make waves?
2.
In this case, the subject knows he is right, but goes along to avoid the discomfort of disagreeing with the group. Here, the distortion is at the level of his response.
2. 2. 2. 2.
In the previous experiment, the naive subject stood alone against the group. In this variation, Ash gave the naive subject a partner, here seated in the 3rd position, who also gives the correct response.
1.
1.
2. 1.
2.
With a partner, yielding drops to only 5% of the critical trials compared to 37% without a partner. Although subjects report warmth and good feeling toward the partner, they typically deny that he played a role in their own independence. The partnership variation shows that much of the power of the group came not merely from its numbers, but from the unanimity of its opposition. When that unanimity is punctured, the group's power is greatly reduced. Sometimes we go along with the group because what they say convinces us they are right. This is called informational conformity. But sometimes we conform because we are apprehensive that the group will disapprove if we are deviant. This is called normative conformity. The strength of the normative factor is shown in another variation carried out by Ash. In this variation, the subject is told that because he had arrived late, he would have to write his answers. Subjects in this private response experiment are exposed to the same amount of misleading information as other subjects, but they are immune from any possible criticism by the group.
1. 1. 1.
And this enormously reduces the pressure to conform. Conformity drops by 2/3. Ash's experiment is a classic. It reveals how people will deny what they see and submit to group pressure. It allows us not only to observe conformity, but to study the conditions that increase or reduce its occurrence.
Would you obey this man? He's Charlie, our actor, dressed to look like he's in charge, though he's in charge of nothing except a bogus uniform. We've brought him to Edmonton in North London, to the shopping centre, to find out exactly how obedient people are.
Excuse me, madam, sorry, could I just stop you? You're about to pass between me and the red bench. Could I just ask you to go the other side? Thanks. That's great. Oh, and just be on the apple, it would be great. Oh, oh. Thanks very much, madam. These slabs, I couldn't just ask you to knock it down for me. You're probably heavier than I am. Can you give it a good old jump? Yeah, actually, let me just move that way. Can you just jump, please? Yeah, no, 2-footed probably best. I couldn't just ask you to litter, could I? To what, sir? To litter. To litter? Yeah, have you got anything you could possibly quickly litter? Do you use that? It's probably all right. Okay. Yeah, could you just litter for me, please, sir? Just twice would be great. Kick it away, otherwise it won't. That's it. Give it a kick. Couldn't ask you just to pop that in your other hand, could I? Thanks, that's excellent. Could I ask you to lead with your left? Yes? And just slowly, really, basically.
It's a simple experiment, but amazingly, it works. Out of uniform, though, it's a different story.
Oh, sir, could I just ask you to switch bags with your hands? Just... You couldn't just go and just touch that brick? No?
But with the uniform, 70% of people follow Charlie's bizarre instructions to the letter.
Oh, fine. Give it one more, actually. The wind's a bit weak. That's it. You got my dental records here. That's proof enough that this is quality sweet corn. Bit harder, please, sir.
He's in uniform.
Stop the bag.
So they obey.
Så det här var ju experiment i lydnad till auktoriteter. Kanske inte så mycket hjärntvätt i sig. Men det som förefaller vara viktigt är att ha någon slags inre kompass som styr en, som man själv styr. Helst en orubblig sådan. Man kanske inte ska vara så säker på att man inte själv skulle råka göra såna här saker. Och vem vet, man kanske är hjärntvättad. Jag kanske är hjärntvättad. Så man får väl helt enkelt se upp. Hur som helst så kolla i spellistan. Så finns det flera experiment där att kolla på. Ciao!